They say to solve a problem first, you need to know what it is. And you need to accept what it is. But as humans, as a person, as people in the society, we sometimes refuse to even tell ourselves what it is. We avoid, we retract, and sometimes we lied about it. Maybe out of spite or just a fear of not being accepted. So let's take a moment. Just a brief moment in this beautiful night as our 1 hour of honesty. Hi. I see you guys are already dozing off there. Well, I mean, it's midnight after all. Singer-songwriter and voice chronicler from NIJISANJI. My name is Reza, Avanluna. Or you can always just call me AWAN. Before we start, again, this is something that is unrestricted in a lot of ways. Welcome to a 1 hour of honesty where all of you can just share what you want to share to the world, letting everyone who is listening right now know about what happened to you or what you feel or any kind of experience. This first episode, we don't have any kind of theme, but maybe for the next we will have some. Who knows? Before we start, I will put some ground rules first. First of all, every single one of the entries that will be read tonight, are all personal experiences of each viewer who submitted their story. And sometimes what we experience is not something that's good. Sometimes it's something that's terrible. Or things that we don't want to happen to us. That is why trigger warning for every single one in this stream and the next streams to come. Second, I'm not going to read every single submission as we only have some limited time, but I will make sure that what you want to tell the world is at least read by me. And the last one, this won't be fun. I will totally refrain myself from making any jokes or do the usual roasting or anything. So yes. But in the end, welcome to tonight. To our brief hour of honesty. The first one is from Can't Seem to Move On. A story when I seriously came to love someone who isn't even real. I had a dream around 5 years ago. In that dream, I was a sickly girl in her mid-20s. Just around the age I was when I had the dream. Except that girl wasn't me. We looked nothing alike, and I definitely wasn't deathly sick. I was just a girl who waited for death and loitered around a small town for no reason. The setting seemed to be in a small Japanese town with only one high school. I don't know why I imagined like that, maybe just because I'm a weeb. So this me sat in a bus stop near a high school building as I took shelter from the harsh summer sun. Suddenly a high school boy with his summer school uniform came and sat at the other end of the bench in the bus stop. For some reason, we started exchanging words and became really close with each other over time. This high school boy didn't really attend school, because apparently he was a stock trader or some shit, and maybe he was smart, some kind of special case or something, so the teachers just let him do whatever suits him. Ever since our first encounter, we met at the same bus stop every weekdays just to talk about trivial things. When school is over, we also went our separate ways and bid farewell until the next day. This went on for a month or so. One day, 3 schoolgirls came up to me and asked me what my relationship was with the school's infamous stock trading class skipper. Apparently, they had been watching our exchange in the bus stop and finally got the courage to ask me directly. Not because they were jealous or anything, it was pure curiosity. One of them even asked me if we had some kind of physical intimacy, which I denied because he was a high schooler. I was almost hitting my 30s. Shit's illegal even in a dream, I still have my conscience. But you know what? There was one time where we ran back to his apartment because it was raining really hard and the only shelter he could think of was his own room. Oh, I see where this thing is going. After getting into the unlit room, we just took our clothes off in the same room and exchanged the spare so we wouldn't get a cold from the deadly anime rain. It was weird. It felt like we just went, naked in the same dark room, and yet we didn't really feel anything, even though the original IRL me, thought that holy fucking shit, this has an oddly, tension. Maybe some part of me thinks that I wish for more to happen, but the me in my dream was so oddly rational. I don't know, I commend her for that though. Anyway, like I said earlier, the exchange between us happened for around a month, or maybe more, because I felt like I grew really close to him. It felt like he was my best friend through and through. Maybe there was nothing romantic going between us, but I just knew that he was irreplaceable. And then I woke up. I never felt a sense of longing this bad before. When I woke up, I just had the sorrow and anguish of losing someone really important. It's bad. How bad? I still remember all the details of the dream 5 years later. Bad. We just bonded for over a month in a dream, and it really felt like it was longer. He was just so important to me that when I woke up realizing I won't see him anymore crushed me really bad that I cried and had to ask for a sick leave to my office. It was bad. It's still bad that 5 years later I seem to still unable to move on from this unreal dude. And despite me clearly remembering how the bus stop looked like, how the 3 schoolgirls who came up to me looked like, how the high school building was like, and details of what happened in our conversation, I can't remember how he looked like. Now in my head, he was covered in scribbles no matter how hard I try to remember. God, it's bad. Writing all this makes me want to cry again. Maybe some of you think that this is some kind of fanfic piece, but boy, I wish it was just a fanfic. If it was, I wouldn't have to have this hole in my heart that just can't be filled. As much as I know how unhealthy it is to cling on this fantasy dude, I just can't seem to completely forget him, and yet I can't quite remember him either. Fuck my life, I guess. I'm still sad remembering this. Thank you can't seem to move on for the submission. I believe we all can relate to some point. Not all of us have this certain dream person we met in our dream, and or anything. I'm sure some of us do, but most of us probably don't. But maybe you all can relate at some point. Having that someone that is special to us, even within this really brief moment of meeting them. I think I can understand that to some point, to some extent. You know, we all have that kind of feeling. We all have that kind of same dreams over and over, where we see the same person or the same place, the same event, but yet we can't seem to remember them. We just remember the feeling of it. Someone told me before about this whole thing, as I talked to them about it, it's not something definitive. It's not something that they teach me about. It's not something that they taught me about. It's not something that they thought was right, but it was just a possibility. And what they say is it the definition of the man of your dreams or the woman of your dreams? As you still remember the feelings, but you don't know them. Maybe because they don't exist yet in your life. As it is a sense of longing of someone that you want to be by your side right now. And we all can relate to that. For stuff like this, I just really love to look at the brighter side, or look at how beautiful this probably can be. Because at some point in your life, when you find the right person, the one that can make you feel the same way as you feel for this dream person, then weirdly it will slowly, their appearance will slowly change. That person in your dream will slowly change to the person that you found. And weirdly enough, I just think that it is a beautiful thing. It is nothing bad. In short, you just have a standard. But thank you. Thank you for sending your story. Thank you for being honest today. Next one. Dari Time. Hai Eja dan Avanluna lainnya, kenalin aku Time. Aku tahu ceritaku mungkin bukan hal yang terlalu penting. Yes, it's about relationship. Aku cuma pengen cerita aja karena aku udah gak punya tempat lagi untuk cerita. Jadi gini, aku adalah seorang anak SMA yang sebentar lagi kuliah. Selama 3 tahun SMA, aku punya sahabat cewek yang deket banget sama aku. Berawal dari nanya-nanya tugas, PR, terus mulai sering membicarakan hal-hal random, sampai akhirnya saling menceritakan latar belakang masing-masing. Istilahnya deep talk lah. To be honest, I have a crush on her. Yap, kepribadiannya dan kerandomannya bisa membuatku nyaman. Namun aku tahu kalau perasaanku tak akan bisa berbalik karena terhalang oleh tembok yang sangat besar. Eja dan Avanluna tahulah pasti apa maksudku. Karena itu aku confess kepadanya pada saat hari ulang tahunku. Aneh ya, aku yang ulang tahun, dia yang kasih surprise. Tujuanku confess untuk melepas bebanku saja, karena aku tahu sekalipun dia suka aku juga, kita tidak bisa. Entah beruntung atau aneh, setelah confess dan sebelum confess, tidak ada yang berbeda darinya. Kita tetap dekat seperti biasanya. Aku bersyukur at least bisa jadi teman dekatnya sudah cukup. Namun semua berubah ketika dia berteman dekat dengan temanku. Dia bilang padaku kalau dia dan temanku cowok itu hanya sebatas teman akrab. Karena satu dua hal, mereka lama-lama jadi dekat banget. Sampai-sampai teman-temanku yang lain mengira mereka pacaran. Semenjak itu dia tidak pernah bercerita lagi tentang dia dan temanku cowok itu. Aku tahu aku tidak berhak cemburu karena ya, aku bukan siapa-siapanya juga. Dia juga anak yang humble, jadi gampang dekat dengan orang. Yang aku bingung, dia pernah bilang padaku bahwa aku adalah satu-satunya teman dekatnya. Dan sulit mencari teman dekat lagi yang kriterianya seperti aku. Lantas, apa tujuannya dia bilang begitu? Meanwhile, dia dekat dengan temanku. Pertanyaan yang terlintas di benakku. Ditambah lagi dia bilang bahwa dirinya mungkin tidak bisa bercerita banyak lagi ke aku, mengingat saat kuliah nanti kita punya kesibukan masing-masing. So ya, aku harus sadar bahwa kuliah nanti kita juga akan bertemu dengan dunia yang lebih luas. Bertemu dengan orang-orang baru yang tentunya tidak bisa kita hindari. Jadi yang bisa aku lakukan sekarang adalah fokus pada diriku sendiri yang sebentar lagi akan keluar kota untuk kuliah. Aku hanya berharap ketika kita bertemu, entah di mana, kita tidak menjadi orang asing, melainkan menjadi teman lama yang tetap saling berbagi cerita. Itu aja sih Eja dan Avanluna semua yang aku mau ceritakan. Kalau dipikir-pikir, akunya mungkin agak childish. Fun fact, aku cerita ini karena 3 hari yang lalu adalah hari ulang tahunku. Terima kasih Bang Eja dan Avanluna semuanya yang sudah mendengarkan. Sampai jumpa di lain kesempatan. Updated. Jadi aku nulis submission ini sebelum aku ulang tahun, tepat beberapa menit sebelum aku ulang tahun. Dan hari ulang tahunku, she said. Semoga kamu dikelilingi orang-orang baik ya, pas kuliah ataupun kerja nanti. Semoga dapat penggantiku ya, teman dekat yang sefrekuensi sama kamu. Semoga nanti kamu dapat teman yang bisa diajak cerita-cerita, sambat, saling support, semua hal yang baik deh pokoknya. Aku pernah dengar orang bilang gini, people come and go. Aku gak tahu kedepannya bakal gimana nanti. Mungkin aja tokoh, dalam kurung nama dia, ini emang waktunya udah selesai di ceritamu, dan kamu bakal nemu tokoh-tokoh lain penggantiku. Jadi aku benar-benar berharap kamu bisa dapat teman yang bisa support kamu kapanpun dan bagaimanapun keadaanmu. Entah aku harus sedih atau seneng ya. Aku mau nanya bagaimana kalau Bang Eja dan Avanluna ada di posisiku. Kalian sedih atau seneng ya? Kalau sedih kenapa? Kalau seneng kenapa? Apakah aku harus tetap sebisa mungkin berkomunikasi sama dia atau gimana ya? Oke, sekian dari Time. Terima kasih lagi untuk Bang Eja dan Avanluna yang sudah mendengarkan dan menjawab pertanyaan-pertanyaanku. Sampai jumpa di lain waktu. It is a complicated thing, isn't it? Relationship is a complicated thing. And every time I say it relationship, it doesn't mean two people falling in love with each other and so on and so on and so on. Bukan berarti cuma tentang 2 orang jatuh cinta dan mempunyai satu hubungan romantis. But relationship in general, relationship secara umum, adalah tentang hubungan kita dengan orang lain, apapun bentuknya. Dan mungkin sampai sekarang pun Eja juga adalah orang yang susah menerima itu ya. People come and go is a fact that is hard for me to accept. Bukan sesuatu hal yang gampang bahkan buat Eja untuk terima. Walaupun sayangnya seperti itu. Seiring berjalannya waktu, seiring berjalannya kehidupan kita akan berada di stage-stage berbeda. Kita ada berada di tahap-tahap berbeda di hidup kita yang kadang mengharuskan kita untuk meninggalkan kehidupan kita sebelumnya. Sometimes we're in that position where we need to live our previous life. And I was going to say that there is no other way but to accept it. Aku tadinya mau bilang bahwa gak ada pilihan lain selain terima. Kalau itu yang pasti terjadi. Because in fact, there's a lot of things that we can do. There's a lot of things that we can control in this world. Ada banyak hal yang gak bisa kita kontrol sama sekali. Time. Tapi kalau itu adalah sesuatu yang bisa kita lakukan, maka itu adalah yang bisa kita kontrol. Kenapa enggak? I have a lot of friends who I lost contact with. Banyak orang-orang yang Eja anggap sebagai teman Eja dulu, yang sampai sekarang udah sama sekali gak kontak-kontakan. But I have friends who I've been friends with for more than 10 years. Ada beberapa orang yang Eja udah berteman itu udah lebih 10 tahun. Dan selama 10 tahun itu ada sebuah masa di mana Eja bahkan gak ngobrol sama sekali dengan mereka. But when the time present itself, kalau pada waktunya rasanya pengen mencoba lagi untuk berteman lagi, reach out. Pada akhirnya gak semua itu bisa berjalan natural tanpa ada usaha. Bahkan bisa dibilang hampir 0% semua yang ada di hidup ini, hampir 0% hubungan antar dua manusia itu tidak membutuhkan effort. Bahkan hubungan antara ibu dan anak, ayah dan anak, atau antara kakak dan adik yang dari lahir udah bersama, itu pun butuh effort. Yeah, so I think the truth that we need to accept here is not that people come and go. The one thing that we need to embrace here is not the fact that nothing is forever, that someone will just go one day without any warning, but the thing that we need to embrace right now is that it needs effort. So yes, time kalau kamu mau tetap dekat sama temanmu, diusahain aja. And I think you should be happy about it. Dia ngomong kayak gitu di akhir, itu artinya dia masih care. Dia masih peduli sama kamu. So, thank you for being honest tonight. Thank you for the submission. Ganba sender kata Suyud. Understandable kata Bibi juga. Next up is from Anonymous. From the first sentence itself, I think it's something that we can relate to. Okay. I always have difficulty in making friends and develop an anxiety regarding that. My friends never last and I don't know why. And that's why I always blame myself, like maybe the fault lies with me and I couldn't have a long-lasting friend. Even my supposed to be best friend didn't contact me for almost 7 months, I think, and she is currently the only friend I have for now, and I know that she has major depressions and things, so she is recuperating. I only know that she is back with her parents, just that. I try to be a good friend and listen to all her problems and everything. Is it selfish of me, or is it wrong of me to just want to know how she's doing? She also have a habit of blocking blocking everybody except for her family when she's stressed. She did told me about that, albeit angrily, when I asked about it. So what happened after I couldn't get a hold of her for more than 4 months? She just told me one day that she blocked me because she was so stressed with work and everything. I was like, okay, understandable, but still hurt nonetheless, because if she actually considered me her best friend, she will talk to me about what's stressing her out. Because she usually talked to me about this kind of things. My anxiety come because before she started blocking me, she take a week off from her job and came to my house for a vacation. We are that tight. My family know her well and also loved her. In my view, I'm having so much fun and I'm not sure about her. She says that she is having fun too, so I don't think much about that. After she started blocking me, literally few days after her vacations, and also after like 6 to 7 years of friendship, she never ever blocked me ever because she did say that I was her comfort zone. I was like literally talking to myself, trying to find what went wrong and why. And because I've already used to blame myself often, it might be my fault after all. Everything happened usually end up being my fault, so it's okay. I might be crying thinking of why she didn't want to contact me. It's okay. It's fine. It's already been 7 months after that, and she didn't even wish me happy birthday, but to be fair, I didn't either, even though we have the same birthday. I'm still quite mad and trying to find what actually went wrong. It is quite long, and thank you for reading it, Reza. No, first of all, it's not that long. Second of all, it is partly my fault for setting the minimum of 2,000 characters before. I think this is what I come to learn through my life. My 23 plus years of living. It's the fact that a human's life is complex. Just like how complex a human being is. And something about our mental capacity. Is one fact that it is just like our physical capacity of taking things. There is a certain limit of what we can take physically and mentally. It's a lot of things, and just like what you said here, you have a certain anxiety problem with making friends, and your friend has some kind of depression. Just like one of the chat said, it does do that. Just like what Eruji said, it does do that to people. And it's bad. Well, the one positive that I can say right now is one positive thing that I can say is that it's not your fault. It's not her fault or his fault. It's no one's. Whatever happened to someone, it came because of certain circumstances. And if you trust your friend, then from the looks of it, it's not like she's abandoning you. But there's a limit of what one person can handle, and Maybe she just thinks that she is not quite capable of being a good friend right now. And that makes sense. So don't blame yourself. It is not your fault after all. It is just how it is just what adulthood did to friendship and other kind of relationship actually. But one thing about this, if somehow your friend will still accept you to be a part of their support system, then when you reach out, she will definitely reply back. Because one thing that I know, as someone who went through or maybe is still going through it, it is scary to ask for help from other people. And when it is about someone that we care about, it is scary for us to bring them into that terrible, terrible feeling. So yes, it is okay for you to try to reach out. But of course without any expectation. After all, it's the circumstances' fault. I hope you find your way, or at least find your peace with this. Thank you for being honest, Anon. The next one is from someone. High school's life. I had been doing my best. I'm really proud of myself. I don't have many friends, only this one small circle of friends. At first, I thought it's okay to leave with a simple goodbye and smile because I believed we will meet again someday. I even laughed to my friends because they're crying that day. On our last day, but I ended up crying too, alone in my room when I got home. When I remember again about all memories we created together, I don't know why our story is somehow beautiful and bittersweet, I think. Nothing special about our relationship, just normal like other people. Go eat lunch together, walk back home together, that's all. I don't really share my problems with them because I was afraid to make them worried about me. Just seeing their happy face and hearing their laugh makes all my problems gone away. I still remember when I had a fever and headache. I forced myself to come to school because I had a really important exam that day. I tried to show that I was okay, but they were really worried about me, and I felt really bad about it. They should have focused on studying for an exam that day, but they all came to me asking me to get a lot of rest before the exam start, and well, they gave me chocolate. They really cared about me, and their kindness made me cry. In the past, I'm so afraid to make a friend and trust someone. I had hated this world so much, even myself too. But after I met them, I learned to love this world slowly. I was not afraid anymore. We will meet someone new in the future as well too, won't we? I hope they will find someone who is better than me. It's okay if they forget about me. I don't care about it. I always pray for their happiness. I just want them to know how they changed my life without them knowing. I love them more than they knew. I'm really embarrassed to say that in front of them. I felt bad. I wish they will forgive me for not being able to repay all their kindness. To all people who hear this, please appreciate your friends. If you say you don't have any friends, try looking around you. There must be at least one person who cares about you. Forgive me if my story took your time, and thank you very much for reading and listening to it. Bye bye. Thank you, someone. That is a beautiful story about the things that we all went through. I think it is weird. I talk about this a lot before in AWAN on air, and so I don't think some of you knew that I talk about this before. But it is something that I don't think I like about our culture, about how we were brought up. Or maybe it is something that is quite distorted because of media and everything. Because in media, it's so easy to see people showing their affection to other people, especially people from other culture, from other country. It is so easy it looks so easy every time Koreans and like Korean television tell just saranghae to each other, even to their friends or just siblings or their parents. Or when people from the western side of this world do the same kind of thing. But in reality, maybe it is hard to do, especially in our culture as an Indonesian. And it is not something that we do often. We don't just go to our people and say, "Man, I love you." Maybe it should be done more than it had been done. But trust me, someone or some people will never be able to stay with you for so long without caring about you. There is in no way someone who despises you or indifferent to stay by your side for such a long time. High school's life is freaking long. It's 3 years. It's 3 years for people who are in the age of 16 to 18. So it's literally 1/6 of your life. It's 1/6 of your life. While having 2/6 of it being one thing that you can't remember. From the age of 0 to 6, you don't remember anything. Maybe you remember some stuff during that time. Maybe you still remember things you start to remember things when you're 4 years old, but who still remember them? So 1/6 of your life is a lot. It's a freaking long part of your life. It's a huge one. So yes, I don't think anyone will be able to stay with you for that long without caring about you. So yes, I'm sure as much as you appreciate them, they appreciate it in the same way. So don't feel bad about it. I think this is something that I realized just now, literally. The most valuable resource is time. You can't make time, you can't borrow time, you can only lose them. But the way you lose your time is different every single time. Maybe you lose it by being productive. Or in this way, you use it for being productive. Maybe you lose it by just lazing around. But also lazing around can also mean resting. So in that case, you're also using it to rest. But one thing a lot of people can do, and I think what a selfless act can truly mean, is when you give your time to someone else. By giving your time means like you spending that time with them without asking for any return, because there is no way anyone can return your time. So it is something that I realized when I spend time with my friends or my family. It is beautiful because there is infinite number of things they can do instead of spending that time with me. There is infinite. By infinite, I meant infinite number of things you can do within that time. But instead, they chose to give their time. It's this precious resource for me. To me. To spend time with me, just hang out. And that is nice. And I think that is what this all means, right? There is no way one can choose to spend time with you if they don't care about you. And there is no way for you to repay all of that time. But in the same way, you already gave them your time too. It is a give and take after all. I hope you are still friends with those friends, or if you drifted apart, I hope you find a way to go back to them. Or just generally, I hope you find the same kind of meaningful relationship in the future. Thank you, someone, for being honest tonight. The next one is from Anon. Because my studies aren't going too well, my parents are applying me to a boarding school this July. But a boarding school means very little time alone or devices, which means I can't enjoy my hobbies like watching NIJISANJI or playing games. I just feel like I'm properly at home or in a safe place when I'm immersed by this. Going to a boarding school is for my future and I understand it, but that means I'll lose a lot of the things that I enjoy now. I can always watch stream archives, but it's not the same as if it was live. I can't interact with fellow viewers nor the lifers. I won't be able to give the support I want to give to the lifers. One person isn't all that important, but I want to do as much as I can for you. I've also met tons of people online here. They're like my second yet main family. And I have pet cats that I love so much, and I know cats have a short lifespan, and I want to spend as much time with them before I have to say goodbye. I don't want to come home for school break or open my phone to a message telling me their life has ended without me not being able to spend the past days with them. Am I selfish for not wanting to go despite it's for the better of my future? It's not a story per se. I also don't seek for advice on this. I don't even know where I'm going on this, since I don't have much of a choice. This part isn't really relevant, nor do I need an answer or advice on this. I'm just doing this to hit the minimal 2,000 characters, but I have two choices for the school. One has several beds in one room, more than 10, with those low-quality thin mattresses. The second option has 3 people per room, but if I go there, I have to be there with my dependent little brother, whose reason was to be in boarding was to be independent. If I go to the second one, his teachers might depend on me since I'm his older sibling, which I've already had enough when we were doing normal school before this pandemic. I'm stuck on whether to choose the less privacy, less sibling stress, or the more privacy, more sibling stress. That I can't answer for you, Anon. It is, after all, just about your priority, but in life, there's a lot of times we made a choice that is not a choice at all. It's the same as choosing this, having these two choices. One, to keep going through a toxic relationship, and to just keep and end it, break up. It's not a choice at all. Or some people whose choices is, well, there's no other way but to pick a certain school. Maybe it's because of money. Maybe it's because of other stuff. We will meet that kind of choices a lot in this life. The only thing I can tell you is good luck. But that's it. If I'm your typical adult, which I probably am actually, the one thing that I will tell you is that everyone went through that. Everyone goes through those kind of experience in their life. There's a lot of things, and there will be a lot of things in the future that push you to this kind of dead end, where the only way to get out is just that one way. Unfortunately, that's how life is. True, choices are hard. I need to sacrifice it. Yuki 312. I just say boarding school is actually quite nice. I met this decision before. I met these choices before. Actually, I met them a lot of times before. But there's one particular choice where I actually was forced to live quite far away for a while by myself, and I didn't like that choice. Not even a bit. Even though it was my choice. Because at that time, that was the only choice. But speaking from experience, those kind of thing is never 100% bad. None of them is 100% good. Most of them can't be. Most of them are not even this choice that will, oh, well, you just didn't see the good of it right now. No. Most of them are actually quite normal. And most of them are choices where, well, the things that you don't like will just, well, stay as the things that you don't like. It is life. But that doesn't mean 0% of it is bad, is good. There will be some good in it. And if we are still young, maybe a little bit of an adventure is good. Taking a detour or something that is quite unknown to us. That is something that I regret, actually. Because back then when I was, well, fairly young. I'm still young right now. I'm 23 plus years old. But back then when I'm still in my teenage years, I was not an adventurous person, and it's something that I regret until now. Because back then it was the time for me to make as much mistakes that I can do, as many mistakes that I could do without having too much of a repercussion, because it was our teenage years. We didn't have that much, I didn't have that much responsible compared to now. So yes, be adventurous, children, teenagers. That is if I'm a typical adult, which I am. Just like what Eva said, getting out from comfort zone for once isn't that bad. Yes. And yes, Arisa, I was a young and hip Reza Avanluna. Thank you, Anon, for your for being honest today. And if you have a lot of things that you are uncomfortable with, as an older brother myself, I can't say that like your parents are definitely going to be worried about you when you go to the boarding school. So if you have anything that you are uncomfortable with, because like we all know, not all boarding school is, well, a good growing up environment, make sure you tell your parents. They're your safety net. Next one, or well, the last one today is from Mbak Mio. Selamat malam Mas Eja dan juga Avanluna. Sebelumnya makasih banget buat Mas Eja udah sediain wadah untuk kita bercerita. Aku mau cerita beberapa hal yang mengganggu pikiran aku akhir-akhir ini sampai bikin aku kurang produktif. Aku punya masalah dalam mengendalikan emosi yang bikin aku cepet banget marah dan tersinggung terhadap hal-hal kecil dan sepele. Which always puts me in an uncomfortable situation. Hal itu sering banget dimention sama orang-orang terdekat, kayak keluarga dan teman-teman. Sebetulnya, aku udah berusaha untuk bersabar and let it slide. Tapi memang tidak bisa dipungkiri semakin aku berusaha, maklumin orang-orang yang bikin aku gak nyaman. Entah itu anggota keluarga atau teman, semakin aku ngerasa aku bohong sama diri aku sendiri kalau aku sebenarnya marah dan gak nyaman sama perilaku mereka. Tapi di satu sisi aku susah buat ungkapin apa yang aku rasain ke orang lain. And it makes them confused about what I want, what I need, and how to solve the problem. Perasaan itu bikin aku bener-bener gak punya semangat buat komunikasi dengan orang-orang dan mulai menutup diri dari apa yang aku rasain. Seolah aku gak berhak punya emosi-emosi itu. I always think that I am a burden for people around me because I can't maintain a mental and emotional stability. Aku takut mereka pergi karena salah paham dengan apa yang aku rasain. Dan dari situ aku mulai benci sama diri aku sendiri dan melakukan hal-hal negatif yang aku yakin bakal ngerugiin diri aku sendiri. Tapi akhir-akhir ini aku mulai paham dengan apa yang terjadi dalam diri aku dan apa yang menyebabkan hal itu terjadi. Itu sebuah kemajuan yang baik buat aku walau prosesnya memang cukup menyakitkan buat ingat-ingat. Aku pengen jadi lebih jujur sama diri aku dan orang-orang di sekitarku. Aku juga ingin mencintai diri aku sendiri dengan segala kekurangan yang aku punya. Dan aku ingin lebih memaklumi diri aku dan ingin terus ingat bahwa aku ini manusia biasa yang memiliki banyak emosi dan berhenti untuk nyalahin diri sendiri atas kesalahan yang aku perbuat. Memaafkan diri aku sendiri dan mulai menerima segala sisi dari diri aku. I'm still far from being healed, but little steps are important too. Sebenarnya aku bingung mau cerita kayak gimana. Semoga cerita yang aku sampaikan mudah untuk dipahami. Sehat selalu buat Mas Eja dan Avanluna. Terima kasih banyak. Selamat malam. Terima kasih, Mbak Mio. 難しいことですね。I think because we talk about the most valuable resource before. Karena kita ngomongin resource paling berharga sebelumnya adalah waktu. But one of the shape of love that I think is one of the best, one of the greatest is compromise. Satu bentuk cinta yang paling besar. Salah satunya adalah compromise. Bisa memahami orang yang kamu cintai dan berperilaku sesuai dengan itu. Menurunkan sedikit apa yang kamu nyaman demi orang lain. Which I can see that you have been doing. Which I think they will definitely do that to you too. It's okay. Sometimes it is alright to be selfish. That is a non-negotiable thing. Like, it is sometimes alright for you to be selfish. It is alright for you to tell them that you don't want to compromise this time. Putting that aside, thank you for accepting yourself. Thank you for accepting that flaw of yours. Mungkin ini adalah suatu hal yang sensitif ya. Tapi kita ada di a 1 hour of honesty. So if I force you to be honest, karena aku memaksa kalian untuk jujur di dalam semua entry hari ini, maka aku juga harus jujur supaya adil. And honestly, in this topic, the one thing that I think is going around through almost everyone in this generation who started to think about a lot of things. Sesuatu yang terjadi kepada kita semua dalam generasi ini yang mulai berpikir tentang banyak hal. Bisa dibilang woke, air quote. Mulai aware walaupun tidak sepenuhnya kepada banyak hal. Mulai mengerti tentang hal-hal yang biasanya kita gunakan, kita anggap sebagai suatu hal yang toxic. Atau hal yang semestinya tidak seharusnya. Dan seterusnya dan seterusnya. adalah ada satu hal yang paling seorang Reza Avanluna gak suka dari hal ini adalah dimana kita terlalu keras kepada diri kita sendiri. Mau hedon dikit, rasanya mestinya gak gini. Mau menyemangati orang, kita rasa ini terlalu positif, terlalu toxic positivity. Terlalu bersedih-sedih, kita bilang mestinya kita gak menunjukkan kita sedih ke orang lain. Terlalu bergantung kepada orang, mestinya kita bisa menyelesaikan ini diri sendiri. Mestinya kita bisa menyelesaikan ini secara mandiri. Dan seterusnya. Dimana pada akhirnya bukan orang lain yang expect kita untuk perfect, tapi kita sendiri yang expect diri kita untuk perfect. Kita expect diri kita untuk tidak positif dan di saat bersamaan tidak terlalu negatif. Kita memaksa diri kita sendiri, kita me-expect diri kita sendiri untuk tidak menunjukkan bahwa kita hebat, tapi di saat yang bersamaan tidak menunjukkan kalau kita tidak hebat. One thing that I can tell you everyone is that it is alright to have flaws. Adalah satu hal yang sangat bisa dimaklumi untuk seorang manusia memiliki hal yang tidak sempurna. The one thing that make a human being perfect is imperfection. It is something that is quite counterintuitive, but the one thing that makes someone perfect is imperfection. Seorang manusia itu sempurna karena dia tidak sempurna. Gak apa-apa kalau kita punya flaws. Gak ada masalah kalau kita melakukan banyak kesalahan, walaupun kita tahu itu salah. Tapi terkadang selama itu tidak melukai orang lain dan tidak melukai diri sendiri, tidak perfect itu tidak apa-apa. It is alright. It needs to be known that the threshold of okay is a broad one. There's a broad spectrum of being okay. That someone is just okay, you know. You don't need to be in that one point of being a perfect human being. No. You can just be an okay person. So yes, but in the end, that's what I think. It is what I think. Don't be too hard on yourself, and yes, trying to improve oneself is one thing, but being too self-critical is another. And as the people who watch Reza Avanluna, I'm sure all of you know that I'm that self-critical person. The self-critical person is telling you to not be too self-critical. Think about it. Thank you, Mamio, for being honest tonight. As our 1 hour of honesty is up. Again, this 1 hour of honesty is not something that I think is fun. It is not meant to be made for fun. I closed this form, the first episode form, and I will read the rest. So there are still 7 to 8 entries on the next episode of AWAN. But after that, we will have some theme for each episode. But isn't it nice to be honest? To just let out everything that we want to say. To let out things that we can't say in real life. So thank you everyone for being on us tonight. Thank you for listening tonight, and I will see you in the next room. Because it is my time already to go back to the void. I need to return this body, man. Oyasuminasai. Otsukareja.